Amanda deserves these more than you ever will. My mother-in-law's voice crackled through the phone, full of smug satisfaction. She's blood, not just married in. And you're too busy saving lives at that hospital to appreciate beautiful things. I'm Dr. Sophia Martinez, 32 years old, and in the middle of a 36-hour ER shift when I received that call. She was referring to my late grandmother's jewelry collection, heirlooms passed down from mother to daughter for 4 generations. These weren't just accessories. They were survival stories, symbols of resilience. Pieces my grandmother had hidden in her coat lining while fleeing across war-torn Europe during World War II. Diana, I said, steadying my voice, those pieces are part of my family's legacy. They're with real family now, she said coldly. Amanda's wearing the sapphire necklace to dinner tonight. It looks better on her than it ever did on you. Clenched the phone. Amanda, my sister-in-law, strutting around in my grandmother's sapphire necklace, the one she wore the night she bartered for safe passage out of Europe. It was infuriating, but not surprising. After 15 years married to Michael, Diana's son, I knew how she operated. That's why I'd taken precautions. I hope Amanda enjoys them, I replied calmly, then hung up. My hands trembled, but not from panic. I called the insurance company. 6 months ago, I'd had every piece appraised, photographed, and insured. I even installed a hidden camera in my jewelry box after I noticed things out of place whenever Diana visited. She chose this weekend intentionally, knowing I'd be buried in back-to-back shifts. What she didn't know was that Michael helped me install the camera himself. She's getting worse, he'd said. She needs to understand boundaries. Within an hour, I had filed an insurance claim and a police report. The footage was crystal clear. Diana, rummaging through my things, gently packing the heirlooms into her designer handbag. Then Amanda texted, "Thanks for the early inheritance. The sapphire necklace is perfect for my charity gala next week." I took a screenshot. Amanda always envied my marriage to Michael. Diana encouraged her, reminding me often that I'd only married into the family, never truly part of it. But what they forgot was who raised me. My grandmother had outwitted Nazi officers. She taught me that revenge isn't loud, strategic. Later that day, the insurance adjuster called. "Dr. Martinez," he said, "given the documentation and clear evidence of theft, we can process your $300,000 claim immediately. What would you like to do with the funds?" I thought about Diana's smug tone, Amanda's arrogance, and my grandmother's quiet strength. "I want to establish a scholarship," I said, "for refugee children pursuing medical degrees, in her name." The adjuster paused. "That's uncommon. Most people want to replace the jewelry." "My grandmother didn't survive a war for gold," I said. "She survived to build something better. So will I." Just then Michael messaged. "Mom just called, bragging about giving Amanda the jewelry. Please tell me you had a plan." I sent him the police report and claim confirmation. "That's my girl," he replied. "Want me to break the news?" "No," I wrote back. "Let's wait. Amanda's big gala is next week. Wouldn't want to spoil her entrance." I leaned back in my chair, exhausted but grounded. The jewelry was gone, but not the legacy. Diana and Amanda thought they'd stolen my past. What they actually did was help me fund a future. And the best part, the gala was at the city's most prestigious hotel. Amanda had spent days flaunting her family heirlooms online. My grandmother's necklace glittered in every photo, a badge of stolen pride. "Can you believe her?" Michael said, scrolling through Amanda's posts. In one, she claimed the jewelry had always belonged to her. That night, as we dressed for the gala, him as a major donor, me as the woman whose legacy was about to make headlines, I wore no jewels. Just a simple black dress, my wedding ring, and a tiny gold pin. The one piece my grandmother hid from everyone, even the Nazis. Because survival isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent, patient, and beautifully prepared. The one piece Diana hadn't found was the gold pin I always wore on my hospital coat, a small, elegant reminder of my grandmother's strength. Earlier that day, the police detective had called. "Dr. Martinez, we have enough evidence to press charges. Would you like us to make the arrest at the gala?" "No," I said. "Let's keep this professional. Serve the notice tomorrow." I wasn't after public humiliation. I wanted justice. That night, as Michael and I entered the grand ballroom, Diana spotted us immediately. She wore an emerald bracelet from my collection, parading it with pride. "Sophia dear," she said with a fake air kiss. "You look so simple tonight. No jewelry." She smirked and brushed her fingers across the stolen bracelet. "I prefer to let my contributions speak for themselves," I replied smoothly. Michael squeezed my hand, suppressing a laugh. Amanda was glowing under the spotlight, entertaining admirers near the stage. I overheard her, fingers grazing the sapphire necklace around her neck. "It's a family piece passed down through generations," she said sweetly. "Mom finally decided I was the right person to carry on the legacy." I moved through the room, quietly accepting congratulations from donors and hospital board members. Word of the new refugee medical scholarship had spread fast. Several donors had already pledged matching funds. My grandmother's legacy was already helping lives far beyond what Diana or Amanda could imagine. "Dr. Martinez." It was Dr. Thompson, head of the hospital board. "I was just telling everyone about your scholarship initiative. Using your family's jewelry collection to fund education for refugee medical students. Absolutely inspired." Diana, eavesdropping nearby, froze. "Wait, what did you say about the jewelry?" she asked sharply. Dr. Thompson, oblivious to her panic, smiled warmly. "You must be so proud. The insurance company said it was one of the best documented collections they'd ever seen. And now, it'll help future doctors escape war-torn countries, just like Sophia's grandmother once did. Simply beautiful." Diana turned pale. She grabbed my arm, pulling me aside. "What have you done?" she hissed. "Protected my grandmother's legacy," I said evenly. "The insurance settlement will fund education for refugees for years. Isn't that wonderful?" Amanda approached, confused, one hand clutching the necklace. "What insurance?" she asked. "The comprehensive policy I took out 6 months ago," I replied. "Full theft coverage. With video documentation. The police reports already filed." Amanda's face went from confusion to horror. "Police report? You're kidding. You didn't think I'd just let you steal my family's history, did you?" My voice was calm. "Those pieces helped my grandmother survive a war. Now they'll help others survive too." But they're mine now," Amanda stammered. "Mom gave them to me." "One can't give what one doesn't own," Michael said, joining us. "And you both might want to check your emails. The police are sending official notifications tomorrow. We figured a little heads up was fair." Diana fumbled for her phone, her hands shaking. "This is ridiculous. I was just redistributing family property." "It wasn't yours to redistribute," I said firmly. "But don't worry. Every piece will now help build a better future, just like they once helped my grandmother." The rest of the evening was deliciously awkward. Diana and Amanda huddled in a corner, frantically texting their lawyer. The necklace that had seemed so regal earlier now hung around Amanda's neck like a chain of guilt. As we left the gala, Michael chuckled. "You know what the best part is? They documented their own theft all over social media. Their lawyer's going to have a field day." I touched the small gold pin on my coat, the one Diana never noticed. "My grandmother once told me, strength isn't wearing the finest jewelry, it's what you do with what you have." "The foundation already has 3 candidates lined up," I told Michael. "Young doctors who had to flee their countries, leaving everything behind. Just like she did." He took my hand. "She'd be proud of you." And I knew she would be. Michael pulled me into a hug. "Your grandmother would be proud," he said. "You turned their theft into something beautiful." But the story wasn't over yet. The official police notifications landed in our family group chat like a bomb. Amanda broke the silence first. Panicked texts flying in. "This is just a misunderstanding. Sophia, please. Call off the police. You can't do this to us. We're family." Diana's approach was less frantic, but far more calculated. The next morning, she showed up at the hospital during my rounds, her designer handbag clutched like a lifeline, fury burning behind her eyes. "Do you have any idea what you've done?" she hissed, cornering me near the nurse's station. "Amanda could lose her charity board position. Our reputation." "Your reputation," I interrupted, voice low and professional. "You mean the one built while stealing from your daughter-in-law? While teaching Amanda it's okay to take what isn't hers. I was protecting the family's legacy." Her voice rose, drawing attention. "Those pieces belonged with us. They were in our family," I replied evenly. "Until you decided to steal them. Now they're helping young doctors save lives and build futures. I think my grandmother would prefer that to seeing them worn at cocktail parties." Security stepped in before Diana could continue her tirade, escorting her out as she threw threats of lawsuits and social ruin behind her. But the damage was done. Several hospital board members had witnessed everything. That afternoon my lawyer called. "The insurance payout has been fully transferred to the Scholarship Foundation," he said. "And the police are moving forward with charges. Diana and Amanda have been served. They're trying to call it a family misunderstanding," he added. "But the video evidence and their public posts showing off the stolen jewelry, pretty airtight." The following week, the foundation announced its first 3 scholarship recipients, young doctors from Syria, Ukraine, and Afghanistan. Each had stories that echoed my grandmother's, fleeing violence with nothing but determination and dreams. The local paper published a feature on the program, with photos of the stolen jewelry and its history. Public sympathy flooded in. And then Diana and Amanda showed up, uninvited, at our home, both in tears. Amanda placed the sapphire necklace on the coffee table. "We'll return everything. Please, Sophia, just drop the charges. My reputation can't take this." I picked up the necklace, the cool weight of it so familiar, so final. "It's too late. The funds have already been used. 3 students are beginning their medical residencies next month. Because of this." Diana's tone turned sharp. "But what about us? Our family's name? What about my grandmother's legacy?" I replied. "Did you think about that when you were picking through her treasures like party favors?" Michael, quiet until now, finally spoke. "You did this to yourselves. Sophia turned your theft into something good. Be grateful she didn't push for the maximum charges." In the end, Diana and Amanda accepted a plea deal. Community service at a refugee resettlement center, mandatory restitution to the foundation, and the return of every stolen piece. The jewelry was then donated to a World War II exhibit at the City Museum, each piece now telling its own story of survival and sacrifice. Months later, I met the first scholarship recipient, Dr. Yara Hassan, a young woman who fled Syria with only her medical books and a dream of becoming a surgeon. When I pinned my grandmother's golden brooch, her favorite, onto Yara's white coat, her eyes filled with tears. "Your grandmother's jewelry helped her survive a war," she whispered. "Now it's helping us heal from ours." And unexpectedly, something shifted in Diana and Amanda too. Working with refugee families during their community service opened their eyes. Amanda was the first to truly apologize. "I never understood what those pieces meant," she said quietly one evening. "To me they were just beautiful things. But now, get it. Your grandmother's jewelry is still doing what it was meant to do." Diana took longer to soften, but when the second round of scholarship recipients was announced, I saw her crying at the ceremony. She took my hand and said, "You protected her legacy better than I ever could have. She'd be proud." Today, the foundation has funded 12 medical scholarships and counting. Each recipient receives a replica of my grandmother's pin at their white coat ceremony, a symbol of resilience, healing, and hope. The original jewelry lives in the museum now, behind glass. But its true legacy lives in emergency rooms and operating theaters across the country, worn by doctors who once fled war and now save lives. As for Diana and Amanda, they learned their lesson. More importantly, they learned what legacy truly means. Not in gemstones or heirlooms, but in lives touched, hope restored, and futures rebuilt. Just like my grandmother always said, the most precious things we own are the ones we give.